Season 7, Episode 20, A Health of Information.
There's one thing about this episode, like, this whole time, I thought, like, Discord was gonna pop up. Like, hi, it's all me, I made this disease, because this disease just...
Sounds like...
Discord is not that cruel.
No. It wouldn't...
I mean...
If he wanted to turn someone into a tree, he'd just turn them into a tree.
No, I mean,
he'd
like...
turn them right back when it stopped being amusing to him.
No, I mean, like, this seemed like something that, like with that seeds that he planted a long time ago, but he forgot that he did it when he was evil.
Oh, yeah.
They already used that once, and
I know,
it might stretch it a little bit to do it twice.
It's just coughing bubbles and sneezing lightning and polka dots and all that stuff. It just had chaos all over it.
The flower that caused it did bear a bit of resemblance to that demon seed that he was trying to get as a cure for his blue flu.
It just seemed funny. It's like...
It looked very similar to that blue flu monster flower that tried to eat him in Twilight and Cadence.
Yeah.
That was a
Anyway,
cute creature.
for better or worse, today's review notes do rhyme. I hope that the mountain was well worth the climb.
Oh my god.
Oxen are visiting the sanctuary next week. What?
Because Zecora couldn't climb, you had to?
Yes. We got 2 Zecora episodes in a row, so I figured it was probably a decent time to break it out. I started doing it about maybe a couple minutes into starting to write down my review for the episode, starting to take my notes for it, and I was like, you know what could make this whole thing rhyme? It took longer, but it was a lot of fun. Anyway, like I was saying, oxen are visiting the sanctuary next week, so Zecora helps Fluttershy from the crisscross moss that they seek. A floating flower sprays Zecora and gives her orange spots and coughing bubbles. The shocking sneezes as well add to her troubles. The doctor diagnoses her with swamp fever, exceptionally rare despite coming from a plant that's just over there. With Zecora's tendency to rhyme on the spot, the color choice is interesting for the dots. It's orange. Even if she wanted to, she can't rhyme the color. Turns out the final symptom is to become a tree. Horrifying is the number of these plants by the swamp that we see. It has to work some of the time, and if that's how this tree reproduces.
Those are all trees. I mean, those are all ponies, ex-ponies.
Yeah, or at least there's some sort of big enough animal to turn into a tree.
You ever look at it? That is like really terrifying.
Yeah.
Like something from a horror movie.
Yeah, and I wonder
what.
And I wonder what's the minimum size that the tree needs for these sort of spores of that floating flower they produce to actually work and turn them into trees.
Also, I have a question, because they were very obscure on whether it was genuinely contagious. Because if you noticed, the mom caught it from breathing in the spores, and Zecora caught it from the spores. So did the doc just sneak off and get sprayed himself trying to find a cure, or was it actually contagious?
Well, and the fact that Fluttershy as well got it.
She was present though. She was.
But she wasn't sprayed. She wasn't directly hit. So
well, I mean, Fluttershy's wish was coming true. She was becoming a tree like she always wanted to be.
Hey, she became a tree one other time. Although it was a costume.
Yeah.
No, but this one was real. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be a tree.
All right. To add to the drama for sure, it turns out there is simply no cure. Fluttershy feels guilty for causing her blight. Zokora responds that she deserves no spite. Zokora tells of a masked healer of legendary fame. Fluttershy will go forth to discover their true name. Fluttershy at the castle seeks out Twilight's aid. Her library for her kitchen, Twilight's attention does trade. It's interesting to see Twilight actually cooking.
And then having nightmares about cake pans.
Like, non-stick!
I use round pan. Non-stick pan!
Or at least slightly stressful ones. Being the perfectionist that she is, and baking being, part art, part science. Her art side is slightly underdeveloped. Science very well developed. Art side. Let's see.
Although it wasn't that bad, I mean, considering that he ate all of hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it when Twilight just gave him that smug look.
Mm-hmm. All Twilight's books they work their way through. Though Twilight rests, Fluttershy still looks for a clue.
And Fluttershy was an ass to all the books, tossing them to the ground.
Seriously, did you say book abuse?
Yes.
Book.
Fluttershy wakes Twilight with an answer though all night it took. The healer in question was in fact Mage Meadowbrook. They head to Heavyseed Swamp, though Twilight protests. Fluttershy over the night has gotten no rest. And Spike mentions twice sweet potato muffins are simply the best.
And Twilight with a smug look.
Fluttershy worries that they run out of time for Zokora has suddenly ceased in her rhyme. Her devotion reminds me of a story with much lower stakes, when Applejack worked without any breaks. There's a little bit of...
well, yeah, I think Applejack with you anyway.
Not everything. Some
94%.
things. What?
94% is Applejack with you.
Not all. No, not that high.
89, that's the lowest I'll go.
I won't take it. Anyway, alright. They find Meadowbrook's home inside an old tree. Her choice of abode fills Twilight with glee. Much to their shock, a descendant of Meadowbrook in a chair rocks.
Yeah, that one was a bit strained, that rhyme.
Yes. Well, I'm rhyming an entire review. A little latitude. Cattail is his name and takes care of the place. He shows them to our library at a reasonable pace. In her time, the disease had wildly spread. When she saw the blast bees, she just used her head. On the immune bees' honey she would rely, though they attacked her when she gave it a try.
I have one slight problem with the whole, it's the honey, honey is the cure. It would more likely they could use it as a base, but they would need to isolate whatever is causing the mutagenic effect. You know, find the virus or whatever is mutating their cells. Honey ain't gonna, just feeding them honey ain't gonna do it. And Twilight might have the science know-how for that, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm more or less just kind of hoof waving this and going, meh. It's magic. I don't have to explain. In Oliver's training, her health did deceive her, for it turns out that Fluttershy had also contracted swamp fever. Though Twi warns her to rest, Fluttershy is determined to take care of the rest. Two forms of resting. I rhymed rest with rest. That was... With the bees, she tries to parley. Even the stare won't get them to sway. From the tree, she falls dizzy and weary. Waking after 3 days, she comes up with a theory. Meadowbrook's mask resembles the queen bee. That's how she was able to retrieve the honey. That was tortured.
Yep.
With the honey, they restore both to health. Unfortunately, of new patients, there's now an unwanted wealth. The lesson of the day is to take care of oneself. Otherwise, you can't nurse others to health. And that's the end of the rhymes I came up with for this episode. But, I hope people appreciate it. They appreciate my rhymes. They're not quite on Zakura's level. But give me some
something.
But neither were hers this episode.
Something.
What?
As Zakura said, something is something, something, something.
Yeah, neither were Zakura's on this episode up to her level.
Anyway, yeah. But it was fun. That's why I said it was special today. We got some rhyming in. Overall, the message is good. And, it's the same reason they tell you to, to put on your mask in the airplane if you lose cabin pressure and then help the child. Because if you don't have yours on, you certainly can't help. You may not be able to help them eventually. This whole discovering that, the mysterious mask was Mage Meadowbrook. I mean, this is going to probably change some history books.
Mm-hmm. And Fluttershy is the one who found it.
Yeah, I kind of half suspected that the whole thing that Fluttershy found out was just like her putting pieces together that weren't really there when they found it's like, who? But no, it's actually turned out she was right.
Yeah. I have expect to see, some strange conspiracy theory up on the wall and
that would have been a fun way to turn it. Have like a Twilight comes in the next day and there she is, like shaking, all like caffeinated, and have the billboard of shame that all conspiracy theorists have with the hinge and the string. And the no, Sage Meadowbrook is this, this. I've got it.
Well, I learned a great lesson about this episode. Apparently, ponies have really tiny brains.
How do you figure that?
Because I'm looking at the medical chart on the stream.
Oh, well, I didn't. I kind of. I looked.
Well,
I was looking.
it was just a CAT scan of your brain, dude.
So apparently they have really tiny brains, and they have no stomach, and the food just goes all to their heart.
How do you explain Pinky and her ability to eat? It just kind of goes into a body cavity, and then it's just dealt
Oh no,
with
she has a
through
black hole.
magic. Yeah, that's in addition to just having a body cavity stomach that just sort of magically absorbs the nutrition.
Yep. Damn, that brain is tiny and really misshaped.
Misshapen.
Misshaped works too.
But
Maybe on your planet.
anyway, it was nice to see another location. Though, did we see Hayseed Swamp, or was that a different place when Applejack went to... Oh, good grief, you're right. Applejack went to deliver those pies. Applebloom went to deliver the pie, but Applejack helped, I think. Was that a bayou, or was that...
I don't know if that was Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Anyway, but that would have been a great callback.
You did prove my point, though.
Now a cat has joined the cricket in the stream.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess they have opinions about this too.
You know, there's a pretty interesting fanfic on FimFiction called the Trees Are Screaming or The Trees Are Alive or something like that. And it's pretty much ponies being turned into trees, but it's a lot more gruesome.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It was going to be made by someone at some point.
And it was actually written way before this episode, too.
Oh.
The story's about 2 years old.
Ah, well, still. Perhaps that was inspiration. It's a bit of a macabre way of you know, because I guess they couldn't say die, but they could say turn into a tree.
Yeah,
which in some ways is even more disturbing.
Yeah, are they still living when they're trees?
Of
Well,
course, trees are alive.
Yeah, they're
Unless they're
alive, and
I mean, like, are they still like aware? Can they still like see and silently scream forever as ponies walk by?
I like to think so.
Right?
God, my little pony's getting dark.
That's just how evil the trees are. Well, I mean,
Like I said, it's Triffids. Which, if you don't know what that was, it was a movie based off of a book about trees coming to life and killing people. Not coming to life, but animating themselves and killing people.
Go nature.
of this,
My name is Lorax. I speak. No, don't do that.
of this story, I finished my report. Does anyone else have a retort?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean.